Apparently, Kevin Jordan hasn't missed many meals lately. This week, the self-proclaimed protein poppy released his latest set of progress photos showing off an off-season pump that looks flat-out cartoonish. After smashing rookie campaigns last year, the sophomore standout came back this year and really elevated his game to an entirely new level. And his fourth-place finish back at the Arnold Asia was without a doubt his best performance of his pro career. Very quietly, Jordan has been one of the most improved young athletes in all of bodybuilding over the past few seasons. And so far this offseason, he looks to be picking right back up where he left off. If he can continue to keep this momentum going, I'd be willing to bet that before next season is all said and done, we see Jordan winding up notching his first career win. Don't look now, but here comes Brandon Ray. Earlier this week, new progress photos surfaced of a spectacular-looking Ray just a few days out from hitting the stage at the Ferrigno Legacy Classic, where he'll be looking to show up and show out in his first contest of the season. If you can remember back to last year's Ferrigno Legacy, Ray and his fifth-place finish were one of the real headlines of the weekend, as he made his return to the stage after completely disappearing from the scene for nearly 3 whole years. Once again, Ray looks to be bringing all of that crazy round muscle to the stage that caused so many to cast him as a future star when he won his pro card back at the 2010 Nationals. On paper, this Ferrigno Legacy lineup is loaded with a few heavy hitters, but given what he's capable of putting together, a 100% Brandon Ray is absolutely capable of bringing home a top 3 finish. Speaking of heavy hitters slated to make their way out to the Ferrigno Legacy Classic, the official lineup was released this week, and we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that none other than Justin Compton has decided to throw his hat into the ring. Despite keeping a relatively low profile since turning in a top 10 performance at the Olympia a few weeks ago, it appears as if bodybuilding's version of half man, half alien is going to step on stage one more time before bringing his year to a close. So far this season, Compton has been brilliant, and his win at the Arnold Asia earlier in the season was probably his best overall look to date. Now that he's had a few weeks to focus on getting himself right and getting back to basics, you'd be crazy not to pencil this guy in as the pre-show favorite. And anything other than a Justin Compton win here would have to be considered a serious disappointment. It looks like the muscle gods have been kind to 212 Pro Derek Leverant so far this offseason. This week, new photos surfaced of the second-year pro looking absolutely massive and sporting slabs of hard-earned, new quality muscle. Since he won his pro card back at the 2013 USA, Leverett has done a fantastic job of turning into a solid 212 pro, and the jump he made from last year to this year was nothing short of spectacular. When he's on his game, Leverant's physique has a round explosiveness to it that really comes to life as he poses. But if he wants to step up to the next level and start routinely locking down top 10 finishes, he'll need to start tightening up his conditioning. And with a few more pounds of muscle and a level of conditioning that eliminates all shades of doubt from the minds of the judges, he could be someone we start to see slowly climbing the 212 ladder over the next few seasons. What do you do when you're a 3-time Miss Fitness Olympia, coming off one of the best seasons of your career, where you've established yourself as one of the greatest performers in the history of the sport? Well, if your name is Oksana Grassina, I guess it means you get right back to the gym and start training even harder. This week, new training footage surfaced of the baddest woman in fitness, absolutely smashing a couple of off-season workouts in preparation for what is sure to be a historic 2017 campaign. Over the last few years, not only has Grishina established herself as perhaps the best performer in the history of fitness, but she's elevated her physique to a point where she is quite literally in a class by herself. And unless she decides to abdicate the throne and go off gently into that good night, it's hard to imagine anyone even coming close to challenging Queen Oksana at any point in the foreseeable future. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning, brought to you by IronMag Labs. Make your mark. Check out IronMagLabs.com today. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.